We welcome Nate Swann, the head golf coach at North Central Missouri College, today into our halftime. And welcome. How was your fall season?
It was good. Thanks again for having me, Rick.
Yeah.
So let's start with the girls. Came out straight out of the gates with confidence. We started our fall season over in Hutchinson, Kansas. First round, they shattered our program record by 17 shots.
Saw that, yeah.
And then broke it again by one shot during the final round.
Gotcha.
And that was only 2 years ago.
Okay, so that's pretty significant is what you're saying, right?
On a tougher golf course, too.
Right.
The old program record was 365. That was from the team back in 2021. And, just absolutely shattered it. Haley Baskett, we have a sophomore-led group this year. And Haley Baskett and Kennedy Dickerson, they both PR'd for that tournament. Haley shot 88 and 80, and then Kennedy PR'd by 6 or 7 shots and posted 85, 85. And then that was the bright spot of our fall. Had some really good finishes against some tough NAIA competition. They finished 7th out of 16 schools over at Simpson, so beat some really good 4-year schools, and just staying around that. Our average is roughly 360.
Right.
And that's exactly where we want to be.
Any more on the women at this point as you head into the spring?
We have consistent team workouts, team meetings to kind of make sure everybody's still motivated. But we're just trying to do what we can.
Yeah.
We don't have a building right now. Hopefully that's something we can look into come February.
Right.
With baseball and softball transitioning into the new dairy building, we're going to get the old dairy building. And right now budgeting for a golf simulator.
Yeah,
so.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Would you go through your women's roster and just a brief comment about each one of them? You mentioned Haley, for instance, but who are your other squad members?
So I'll talk about the sophomore, Haley. She's been with us for a year and a half now. Really developed her swing. Ran into a few problems with her driver specifically over the course of the fall, but she's getting the hang of everything. It's fun to watch her play when her putter gets hot.
Right.
And that's fun to see. Kennedy, on the other hand, she just hits everything on a rope.
Right.
She has probably gained 80 yards specifically with her driver.
Jeez, that's significant.
From the beginning of her freshman year to right now, which is huge. A few others, Molly Olsoka, Savannah native. She won the Metropolitan Fall Invitational this year with a really nice round of 85 on a tough golf course. She has the length to tear apart a lot of golf courses. So the other freshman, Skylar Powers, she's from Chillicothe. Her putter is amazing. Her short game didn't chip as well as she wanted to throughout the fall, but she has the length, just like Molly, to alleviate some of that stress around the green. Her short iron play is really good too. Yeah. And that goes the same for our other freshman, Claire Renfro. She's from Maysville. Been really working heavy on her driver and her 3-wood. Really solid short game and great teammate too. She brings great positive attitude, motivation, and I assume we'll see that in the spring too.
Yeah. Well, let's switch over to the men. Who had a good fall for you this year?
The men's side, the Marceline Corps, Will Heller and Jacob Stallo.
Okay.
They played well. St. John Stockton, my freshman from Liberty North, his dad coaches baseball, as you know, over at William Jewell.
Yep, good friend.
He just rips the ball 300 yards, and he can really shorten a golf course with his length. And it's just mentally he's got to stay composed for 18 holes compared to 13, 14 holes.
Right, okay.
Where it really starts to take a toll mentally, and he can smoke a drive 300, miss the green, and kind of just mentally come out of it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a part of being a freshman.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. We'll see that in the spring. He'll work on that kind of stuff mentally, and he'll be good to go.
Okay. Who else is on your squad?
I've got my sophomore from South Africa, Luke Lopez. he has incredible length too. We're just trying to tighten some areas. He kind of gets a little wayward with the driver sometimes. Excellent short game, but need to see more improvement with the driver specifically for him.
Okay. Anybody else? Or is that the entire squad?
We have another freshman in Caden Miller from Lawson High School. He doesn't have the splashy length as everybody else, but he makes up for all of his shots around the green.
Right.
And he was fun to watch this fall too.
Good. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a nice spring with a lot to look forward to. My question to you at this point is, though, in this interim between being able to play outside fall to spring, you mentioned the weightlifting and things like that, but how do they work on their swings, especially given you don't have an indoor facility right at the moment?
So we work on all of that stuff. We have a new training aid called the Stack System, which I ordered through their website. It's a weight swinging system in short terms, and that improves club head speed, swing speed for both the men and the women.
Right.
So we'll utilize that in the winter. It's basically just like a regular club, except you put weights in it.
Oh.
And you can do that in the comfort of your home, upstairs at Ketchum.
Right.
And then we also have 2 putting mats.
Oh, okay.
So we'll really start to, hopefully we see the strokes improved on the putting green throughout the spring with the 2 putting mats that we have.
Yeah. When you do work in this part of the year, it's in the Ketchum Center this year at least. How's that going to change in the future when the dairy is completed and baseball, softball move out and you get that? What kind of improvement will that be for your team?
It's going to be life-changing for us. From a practice standpoint and from a recruiting standpoint, it's going to make a world of difference. Budgeting right now for an indoor golf simulator, which a lot of schools don't have. So recruits are going to see that, and my golfers now are going to get to spend hours upon hours on that simulator, whether it's on the range, there's a putting option. We'll see that.
Is it like those arcade machines we see? Is that what it's like? You see the fairway in front of you, but it's projected. That's what it's like?
Yep. There's an overhead monitor. The launch monitor itself is on the floor, and then it reads.
Right.
It reads your club head speed. If you want to do something fun, you can play, let's say, Pebble Beach.
Okay.
And then, but
you think they let a guy like me on the course at Pebble Beach?
but that's one of the course options that we have. But a majority of the time on the simulator itself will be on the driving range for sure.
Well, I just had a wacky idea that's going to make us millions of dollars. Let's combine the golf program with your simulator with esports.
Absolutely.
And have just an indoor, perfect conditions, everyday kind of a facility. Can we make some money on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That'd be a great idea.
Looking forward to it.
And on top of the simulator, we're also looking into a 1,500 to 2,000 square foot putting green.
Oh, nice.
And then, in addition to hopefully player lockers.
Yep.
So my kids aren't hauling their clubs around in the winter.
Right. Let's talk about the putting green. Would that be inside the dairy?
It would be inside the dairy.
That's nice.
Yep. So we're going to re-turf everything, or tear out the old turf, put in new turf, and then, you can look online for just installation and
sure. Oh yeah.
We'll see what we can do with that.
When is your first official outdoor session of the spring? Where do you start?
We will begin our spring season in Springfield, Missouri, at the Evangel Spring Invitational on March 11th and 12th.
What about qualifying this year for the Nationals? You mentioned a couple things that have changed. How is it set up for this year?
So region, last year, the NJCAA decided on a substitution rule. So you can travel 6 instead of 5, which is how it used to be. Let's say one of your players isn't motivated, or they just had a terrible round.
Right.
You're able to basically flip and make a substitution before their tee times from rounds 1 to round 2, and then round 2 to 3, and so on. So that's a nice rule. I haven't utilized it personally, but some schools do that.
Right. I can see advantages to that, but I can also see where that could cause. You're going to have a lot of thought that goes into it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to pull a kid out who's going to shoot 74.
No.
Unless you say a bad day and accidentally posted 84.
Right.
But pretty dang well that he's going to shoot even par the next day.
Right.
So,
Well,
a lot of thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll keep up to date with how your squad is doing. Nate Swann joining us here in our halftime. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Rick.